Inspired friends. Welcome to episode 2 of the Inspire Your Business podcast. Not essentially the way I thought this week 2 would go. I had full intention of sharing with you a bit of my entrepreneurial journey over the past 22 years and sharing what led me to the Inspired Hub and the new membership. But life has a funny way of intervening, and showing up here today is a bit of a real challenge for me. I've just yesterday had a very shocking death of a very close friend. So my first thought was to stay in bed and hide away. But I made a commitment to myself to launch this podcast, and I wanted to hop on here because it's brought a lot of things to the forefront of my thoughts. This is the second friend in 2 months that has passed away really suddenly and really shockingly, and very hard to deal with. But it has made me really think about how life is so short and what are we doing with our lives. And both of these friends of mine were both very similar guys in terms of incredibly passionate, incredibly unique individuals. Individually, they happen to be friends. And completely coincidental, nothing to do with each other in their passing. But, both of them really were two type of people who seized life and just went with it, would travel, would buy fast bikes, would buy 100 robots in their house, would do the things. And it makes me think when trying to process all of this, what are we doing with our lives? Sounds really morbid, right? Like, why are we here? But it really does make you think about how are we spending our time? How are we bringing our passion to the table in our lives? And how are we showing up for our friends, for each other? And so I'm showing up today to share with you some of that. My friend who passed away yesterday has been a friend since high school. We've probably been friends for, 33 years or something to age us. And when I think about my entrepreneurial journey, he's been there the whole time. In one way or the other, in random ways. So it makes me think, 22 years ago, starting out in business, I was in my early 20s, and, we were gung-ho and eager. And how does that relate to now? Now that we're not in our 20s, don't tell anybody. But how are we bringing that kind of joy back into our lives? And it's interesting, as I've been planning to launch the Inspired Hub, it's really the first time that I've felt that engagement and that real passion for the business and for what I'm bringing to the table with the Inspired Hub. I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. I feel like I'm like a veteran entrepreneur of the bunch. The Inspired Hub is kind of coming out from that in terms of transitioning the knowledge and information in my head, not just for skills, but for really the struggles that an entrepreneur goes through, the highs, the lows, the really day-to-day mind game that plays on you as you're going through your entrepreneurial journey. And, you know, it takes days like today where it's just, I can't show up, you know, but you got to show up for yourself, really. It's funny because I thought I would record this podcast yesterday, and you would have heard all about how I started eMedia and the road down, which I'll go into probably next week because it is quite a cool story. But I think today is really about how we're showing up for our own selves and how we're bringing our passions and living our best lives through our businesses. You know, running a business that is just a day in, day out slog, you're showing up, but where's the passion behind that? And I feel like I've done that for a very long time with what I've been doing. So, you know, how do we keep moving forward, and how do we transition ourselves to maybe make it a bit better and make it more inspiring for ourselves and also for others? And maybe I'm rambling a little bit, but anyway, I'm really excited to be continuing to work on the Inspired Hub project. My intention is to launch the membership officially on Canada Day. I'm half Canadian, so I thought that might be appropriate. It happens to be a Friday. It's July 1st. So that's a few weeks. So I'll be launching to those on the membership, on my email list. So if you're not on there, feel free to hop onto inspired.bm, and there's a sign up form. I'll be launching exclusively for founding members. So these members will be really helping to drive the direction of the Inspired Hub in terms of content and what content I can bring first and foremost. Initially, in July, the first masterclass will be on social media. The membership is really driven around support for entrepreneurs for social media. I found that many of us can't afford to bring on someone to manage our social media for us. It's very time consuming. So therefore it's a big expense to kind of bring on someone to manage the social media. It's also very hard being someone who manages someone else's social media. It's hard to develop that content on behalf of someone else when you're not in their business. So my goal is to create space once a month of a co-working space where we can all sit down on Zoom and we're all going to work together to really develop our content, figure out our direction, figure out our goals for our social media for the upcoming month. Plan out our calendars and really work together to bounce ideas off each other to come up with that direction. If then we want to hire out someone to produce that content, do the graphics and do the posting, that's fine. But at least as a business owner, we're driving the bus on what our messaging is going to be, what our content, what our scheduling is going to look like, and have it be in a way that works for us and for our business. So that's really going to be the main drive. Initially for social media, it may expand into marketing co-working hours, where we plan out other marketing aspects as well. but in a co-working collaborative way. Also mid-month, there will be a 1-hour question and answer session. So as you're working through your month, you can then hop on mid-month and fire away, ask me any questions that you have, bring to the table any ideas or things you want some clarity on. So that's really the driving force of the membership. And I'm really excited to launch it. We've been doing it a couple of months so far for a few of my friends. And I am actually hosting one at the end of this month. It's the last one that's free. So feel free to hop on again to inspired.bm, go to the events page. There's 4 events on there that are free this month. They won't necessarily be free next month. The Q&A will be on the 16th. You can hop on there, sign up for it, and bring any questions that you have for me on your social media if you'd like any help with something. And then our co-working for social media, this time it will be 1 hour within the membership. So in July, it will be a 2-hour session so we can really carve out that time, walk away with a calendar, planned out, ready to go. If you get into doing your first post, fantastic. So please get your name on the mailing list. I'll be sending out some information about our founding member launch probably next week. And I just want everyone to please stay safe and please think real hard about how you're showing up with passion in your business and how you're living your life to make the most of what you're doing day to day. So I wish you well, and I will talk to you soon.